The silence in Rachel's living room pressed down on me like a weight. The photo on the mantel, her handshake with one of the men who had hunted me, burned into my vision. My sister, my own blood, was not just complicit. She was proud. Rachel motioned toward the couch. "Sit, Tasha. We don't need to circle each other like wolves." I didn't move. My voice came out low. "You're working with them." She laughed softly, shaking her head. "I'm not working with them. I'm leading with them. There's a difference." The words sliced deeper than I expected. My mind replayed every childhood moment. Her hand gripping mine when the thunder scared us. Her whispered promises that we'd always look out for each other. Lies. All of it lies. Behind me, I felt Cole shift slightly, his presence steady, grounding me. Rachel's eyes flicked toward him with cool disdain. "And this is the man you trust now?" she asked, her tone dripping with mockery. "You really don't see how pathetic that is?" Cole didn't bite. He just stood tall, unreadable. I forced myself to keep my focus. "Why? Why would you do this?" Rachel's smile flattened. She leaned against the arm of the chair, her voice sharp. "Because I wasn't about to live in the shadows while you got everything. Our grandfather, trained me too. But when it came time to choose, he gave you the key, not me. Do you have any idea what it felt like? To be overlooked? To be treated like the spare?" My breath caught. "He didn't overlook you. He saw through you." For the first time, Rachel's face twisted with something raw, anger, maybe hurt. It lasted only a second before she masked it again. "You think you're on some righteous path," she said, "but you don't know the half of it. He wasn't a saint, Tasha. He was ruthless. He made deals with devils long before you even knew the word conspiracy." The floor seemed to tilt beneath me. "You're lying." Rachel smirked. "Am I? Or did he just not tell you everything?" That's the problem with inheriting secrets. You never know which ones will destroy you. My pulse hammered in my ears. I wanted to demand more, to make her explain, but a faint vibration cut through the tension. A phone. Hers. Rachel glanced at the screen on the coffee table. For just an instant, her mask slipped again, and I saw it, unease. Cole noticed too. He spoke for the first time. "They're coming here, aren't they?" Rachel didn't answer. The air shifted, electric and sharp. Through the window, I caught the flicker of headlights slowing on the street. Another pair, then another. Vehicles pulling up, engines idling. Cole's hand brushed subtly toward his jacket. "Tasha." Rachel rose, smoothing her shirt, her expression calm once more. "Looks like our time's up." I turned on her. "You set me up." She shrugged. "What did you expect? You walked right into my house. And you're not walking out." The sound of car doors slamming outside cut through the night. Shadows moved past the windows. Figures, several of them, approaching fast. Cole's eyes locked on mine. "We need to move. Now." But Rachel blocked the doorway, her voice icy and triumphant. "No, Tasha. You're going to stay and listen. And maybe if you're smart, you'll finally choose the winning side." I glanced at the window again, saw the glint of metal under the porch light, guns, men moving into position. The trap had already sprung. The thud of boots on the porch was like a drumbeat counting down my seconds. I could feel the net closing in. Rachel stood in the doorway like a queen guarding her throne, her chin lifted, her smirk sharp enough to cut glass. "They're here for you, Tasha," she said, her voice smooth, almost soothing. "Hand over what you have, and maybe they'll let you walk away." My jaw tightened. "You think I came here with everything? You think I'd be that stupid?" Her eyes narrowed. For the first time, a crack of uncertainty flickered across her face. Cole stepped forward, his body angled protectively between me and the windows. His voice was calm, but I could hear the iron beneath it. "We're not negotiating." Rachel's lips curled. "Still playing the bodyguard? Cute. But you're outnumbered 10-1. A sharp rap on the front door rattled through the house. Not polite. Authoritative. The kind of knock that said we already own you. "Rachel," a deep voice called from outside. "Time to bring her out." My pulse thudded in my throat. Rachel tilted her head toward me, her voice a whisper meant only for me. "This is your last chance. Choose them, choose me, or choose death. I can't shield you if you walk out that door." Her words twisted something in me. She still thought she had control. But she didn't understand. I wasn't here to be saved. The front door rattled again, harder this time. Cole's hand brushed mine, quick and deliberate. Back room. Window. Rachel's eyes flashed. Don't. Cole didn't wait for my answer. He grabbed my wrist and pulled me toward the hallway, shoving over a side table as we went. The crash echoed through the house, buying us seconds. Rachel screamed after us, her voice venomous. You won't get far. We sprinted into the narrow back room. The smell of old wood and detergent hit me. A single window, small and cracked, stared out into the night. Beyond it, shadows moved, two men circling the side yard. Cole cursed under his breath. They've covered it. The pounding at the front door escalated into splintering wood. My heart hammered so loudly I thought it would give us away. I scanned the room desperate. A wardrobe in the corner. A vent cover hanging loose near the floor. And then my eyes locked on the closet. The back panel didn't sit flush. Here, I whispered, yanking it open. Behind the dresses and old coats was a gap, small, but wide enough for us to squeeze through. A crawl space. Cole shoved me inside first. Dust and cobwebs clung to my face, but adrenaline made me blind to the discomfort. He followed, pulling the panel shut just as the sound of heavy boots thundered into the room we had left. Through a crack in the wood, I saw flashlights sweep the space. Clear, one of the men barked. My chest burned as I held my breath, praying the pounding of my heart wouldn't betray us. One of them kicked the wardrobe door open. Another yanked the vent cover loose. Still nothing. And then silence. For a moment, I thought they were leaving. But then I heard Rachel's voice, muffled but distinct. Check the closet. My stomach dropped. The beam of a flashlight cut closer. The panel trembled as a hand slapped against it. I braced for the ripping sound of it being torn open. But Cole pressed his body against the wood, holding it firm. The man tugged, cursed, then gave up. They're not here, he muttered. Maybe they slipped out already. Then spread out, another snapped. She couldn't have gone far. Boots thundered away. Only then did I let out the breath I'd been strangling. My body shook, my hands trembling uncontrollably. Cole's hand squeezed my shoulder, steady and grounding. We're not safe yet, he whispered. We wait for them to scatter. Then we move. I nodded, the panic simmering into resolve. They thought they had me cornered. They thought Rachel's trap was perfect. But they didn't know me. Not anymore. In that dark, dusty crawl space, I made a silent promise. I would not be caught. I would not be broken. I would survive, and I would burn their whole operation to the ground. The silence stretched thin, fragile as glass. Every second we stayed crammed in that crawl space, the walls seemed to press tighter against my ribs. My lungs screamed for air, but I didn't dare breathe too loud. Then, faintly, through the floorboards, I heard it. The men outside spreading apart, their shouts echoing across the night. They've got dogs on the way, one voice muttered before the screen door slammed shut. Cole's hand tightened on my shoulder. His lips brushed against my ear. Now. He slid the panel open and pulled me out. My knees ached from crouching, but adrenaline kept me moving. We slipped down the hallway, silent shadows in Rachel's house, and reached the back door. Cole checked the yard through the thin curtain, two men by the gate, flashlights cutting across the grass. No good, he whispered. I scanned the kitchen and my eyes landed on the cellar door in the floor. It was half hidden under a rug, like something meant to be forgotten. I tugged the handle, and the old wood groaned in protest. Cole's eyes flicked to mine. A silent question. I nodded. We slipped inside, pulling the hatch closed above us. The cellar reeked of damp earth and rust, but it was cover. My flashlight beam was dim, barely enough to see the stone steps and broken shelves along the walls. Basement windows, Cole murmured. He ran his hand along the wall until he found a gap, small, near the ground. He tested the latch. Rusted shut. Above us, muffled footsteps thudded through the house. Rachel's voice rang out, sharp and commanding. Fan out. She's on the property. Don't let her leave. I bit my lip until I tasted blood. She sounded confident. Too confident. Cole pried at the window with his knife, muscles straining. With a sharp crack, the latch gave. Cool night air rushed in, carrying the smell of grass and smoke. "Go," he urged. I crawled through first, dirt scraping my hands, and tumbled into the weeds on the other side. Cole slid out behind me, just as a flashlight beam swept across the yard. "Move," he hissed. We bolted low across the grass, hearts pounding. Every sound magnified in the night. The crunch of leaves, the bark of a dog in the distance, the metallic snap of a gun being readied. One of the men spotted us. "There!" A shot cracked through the air, splintering the fence post inches from my head. I ducked and ran harder, lungs burning, Cole's hand gripping mine like an anchor. We dove into the tree line behind the property, the woods swallowing us whole. Branches whipped my face, the ground uneven beneath my feet, but the darkness was our shield now. After what felt like forever, we collapsed behind a fallen log, gasping for breath. Cole leaned close, his whisper ragged. "We can't keep running like this. We need leverage. Something that makes them hunt us less, fear us more." His words cut through the haze of panic, igniting something fierce in my chest. He was right. As long as we ran, they controlled the game. But if I turned the board, if I used what I had, what my grandfather had left me, then maybe, just maybe, I could flip the hunt back on them. I pulled the crumpled page of my grandfather's journal from my pocket, the one I'd risked everything to retrieve. The ink was smudged, the words cryptic, but one line burned clear under the moonlight. "The ledger is the key. Trust no one. Not even blood." Rachel wasn't just after me. She was after that ledger. And suddenly I understood. As long as I had it, I wasn't prey. I was bait. The forest pressed in around us, thick and damp, every sound magnified in the still night. My breath came in sharp bursts, each one clouding in the cool air. Cole crouched low beside me, his ears tuned like an animal's. In the distance, the dogs barked again. Louder this time. Closer. "They've picked up our scent," Cole muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. "We don't have much time." The panic in my chest clawed upward, but I forced it back down. No more running blind. No more being cornered like prey. My grandfather hadn't left me all of this. Garage, car, journal, secrets, just to watch me die in the woods. I pulled the page from my pocket, my fingers trembling as I unfolded it. The moonlight filtered through the branches above, faint but enough to see the words. Cole frowned. "That again. This isn't just that again. It's everything," I whispered fiercely. "The ledger he wrote about. It's what they're all after. Rachel, my sister, even those men chasing us." He said it's the key. "The key to what?" Cole asked, keeping his voice low as another gunshot cracked through the night somewhere behind us. "To proving everything," I said, my throat tightening. "The conspiracy, the money laundering, the cover-ups. My grandfather buried it all in that ledger. And he left it for me." Cole leaned closer, his eyes narrowing on the faded ink. "Do you know where it is?" I hesitated. The words blurred under my gaze, strange symbols and numbers I didn't fully recognize. But one thing stood out. A name. A location. Hidden in plain sight. "Elmwood," I whispered. He underlined it. "That's where he hid it." Cole's brows shot up. "Elmwood, that's 2 towns over. That could be a bank, a storage facility, hell, even a cemetery." "Doesn't matter," I said, folding the page tight in my fist. "We'll find it. That ledger is my way out of this." Before he could answer, the crack of twigs snapped nearby. A flashlight beam cut across the trees, sweeping dangerously close to where we crouched. "Dogs are circling," Cole breathed. He grabbed my wrist, urging me lower. "We need to move now." We slid deeper into the woods, staying low, weaving between the trees. My legs ached, my lungs burned, but the fire inside me kept pushing forward. I wasn't just running anymore. I was chasing something too. At one point, a hound's howl rose so close behind us I swore I felt the heat of its breath. Cole spun, pulling his gun free, but I grabbed his arm. "No," I whispered. "If you shoot, they'll know exactly where we are. We need silence." Reluctantly, he lowered the weapon, his jaw tight. We darted left, cutting across a dry creek bed and climbing up the embankment. My hands bled from grabbing sharp rocks, but we made it to the top. Finally, the barks faded. The flashlights dimmed in the distance. Cole leaned against a tree, chest heaving. We bought ourselves a little time, but not much. I slid down beside him, clutching the journal page like it was life itself. For the first time in days, I felt a strange clarity settle over me. This isn't just survival anymore, I said quietly. This is war. And if I'm going to win, I need that ledger. My grandfather didn't trust anyone, not even family, but he trusted me. He wanted me to finish what he started. Cole studied me for a long moment. Then he nodded. Then we get to Elmwood. Whatever it takes. I folded the page carefully, tucking it back into my pocket. The night stretched around us, heavy and endless, but inside me a light flickered, a spark of something stronger than fear. Resolve. For the first time since this nightmare began, I wasn't just running from Rachel. I was running toward the truth. The town of Elmwood was asleep when we arrived. The streets were quiet, only the hum of a lone street lamp breaking the silence. My body ached. My clothes clung with dirt and sweat, but my mind was sharp, focused. The name on my grandfather's note had led us here, and Cole was certain it meant the Elmwood Cemetery. A place for secrets, he said. A place where no one would think to look. We parked the car down the block and slipped through the iron gates. The night air was heavy with the smell of wet earth. My heart pounded as I traced the rows of gravestones, each one a reminder of how easily the truth can be buried and forgotten. There, Cole whispered, pointing to an old, crumbling mausoleum near the edge of the cemetery. The stone door was cracked, the family name chiseled almost smooth with time, Warren. My grandfather's surname. My breath caught. This is it. Together, we pushed the heavy door open. Inside, the air was cold and stale. Dust floated in the beam of Cole's flashlight as we descended a few stone steps. My eyes darted across the dark interior, stone coffins, broken urns, faded plaques, until I saw it. A loose brick. I dropped to my knees and pried it free. Behind it, wrapped in oilskin, was a leather-bound book. My hands trembled as I pulled it out into the light. The ledger. Flipping it open, I saw names, dates, transactions, all tied to Rachel, her associates, and men in places of power I'd only heard about on the news. My grandfather hadn't been paranoid. He'd been right. This is enough to bring her down, I whispered, clutching it to my chest. Relief washed over me, but it didn't last. A sharp click echoed in the mausoleum. The sound of a gun being cocked. Well done, Tasha. Rachel's voice cut through the dark like a blade. Cole whipped around, but Rachel was already there, framed in the doorway, a pistol steady in her hand. Behind her, two of her men blocked the exit. Her smile was cold, her eyes glittering with triumph. You've led me right to it, she said smoothly. I should thank you. My father was a fool to trust your grandfather, but I knew you'd eventually hand it over. I tightened my grip on the ledger, my pulse racing. This ledger is the end of you, Rachel. It has everything. She laughed, a sound sharp and cruel. And yet, in 5 minutes, you'll both be lying with the dead. I'll take the ledger, burn it, and no one will ever know. Cole shifted beside me, tense and ready, but I could feel the odds stacked against us. My gaze flicked to the cracked roof above us. Light seeped through, weak, but enough. An idea sparked. You always wanted control, didn't you, Rachel? I said, my voice steady despite the fear churning inside me. But my grandfather never gave it to you. That's why you're here with a gun instead of a conscience. Her smile faltered, just slightly. That was all I needed. I hurled the ledger toward the shaft of moonlight. It slammed against the roof, sending dust cascading down. In the same instant, Cole lunged, knocking Rachel's arm aside. The gunshot exploded, deafening in the stone chamber, ricocheting off the walls. Chaos erupted. One of Rachel's men rushed forward, but I swung the loose brick in my hand, cracking it across his temple. He crumpled to the floor. Cole grappled with the other, fists flying. Rachel scrambled for the ledger, but I was faster. I grabbed it, shoving it under my jacket, and ran for the doorway. Cole shouted my name as Rachel fired again, the bullet whizzing past my ear. We burst into the night, sprinting through the rows of graves. The air was sharp, the earth slick beneath our feet. Rachel's footsteps pounded behind us, closer, closer. Then the distant wail of sirens cut through the night. Red and blue lights flashed beyond the gates. Rachel froze. I turned, breathless, the ledger clutched tight. "It's over," I said, my voice hoarse but firm. Her face twisted with rage as police cars screeched to a halt. Officers swarmed in, guns raised. For once, Rachel had no way out. Cole dropped beside me, bloodied but standing. I looked down at the ledger in my hands, heavy with the weight of truth, of sacrifice, of my grandfather's legacy. For the first time, I felt free. I wasn't running anymore. I was finally standing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my story, don't forget to like and hit subscribe. You will also enjoy other stories on AJ Family Drama. Until next time, bye.